What really makes the perfect steak? Is it the cut or how you cook it? Today, we're putting it to the test. We've got a select New York strip, a choice ribeye, and a top tier prime New York strip. We're cooking all three different ways on the Monument Grills Eminence 605, the intense sear burner, the classic gas grill, and a flat top griddle. Same seasoning, same medium rare finish. Let's find out what's truly worth your money. Hey guys, welcome to the Chef's Backyard. Today I am joined by Chef Stephen Gonzalez, author of Get Your Grub On. You can pick that up on his website,
chefstephengonzalez.com. Also go check out Chef Steve Gonz on Instagram, TikTok, Chef Stephen Gonzalez on Facebook if you want to catch some of the things that I'm doing in my kitchen.
That's all the social medias that he's got. And make sure you follow me on Chef's Backyard across all social medias as well. We're gonna be doing some steaks today, and we're gonna go through the grades and we're gonna cook them a few different ways and see which one comes out the best. You ready to cook?
I know I am.
Let's go.
All right, so John, what do we have in front of us today?
We've got 3 different steaks, Stephen.
So we've talked about using the different grades of steak. You have your prime, you have your choice, and you have your select. Why do we bring all this up today? Because we want to show you exactly what it means for marbling. So what that ultimately means is how tender is your steak really going to be when you cook it. Yes, you might be saving some money by getting select, but you know what, at the end of the day, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of fat on these steaks. As you get to choice, you're going to have a little more marbling. And then when you get to prime, I think that's just one of the best ways to go, you know. It all depends on what you want. Now, of course, we have a couple of New York strips. We have a ribeye.
So what's cool, so you can see the different marbling, the levels of marbling, right? The select here is the leanest. Some fat out here around the outside, but not a whole lot of intramuscular fat. Your choice right here in the spinalis on this ribeye, you've got actually some really good marbling, nice and meaty. And I'm expecting that to be really good. To me, this is one of the best bites on the cow. Agreed. And then right here in the eye, this is the ribeye. I see some good marbling starting, but it doesn't compare to the marbling that we have on this prime New York strip. That New York strip is so well marbled. Look at that, guys. It has all of the intramuscular fat, and what that's gonna do, fat equals flavor, but it also equates to tenderness. So we're gonna cook all of these steaks a few different ways. We are going to cook them on the propane grill. We're gonna be using the Monument Grills today, the Eminence 605, and we're going to do it straight on the grill. We'll do it on a griddle, and we'll do it on the sear zone.
Now, question, when it comes to seasoning, what kind of seasonings do you use?
You know, that's up to you, but really the best kind of salt, you know, you start with salt. You can do pepper. Some people say pepper burns. And then there's, you know, garlic, and we'll do onion powder. So we'll do a simple kind of rub: salt, pepper, garlic, and onion.
Now, salt brings out the flavor, pepper enhances the flavor. And for those people who watch my channel, you know I love onion and garlic powder with my red meat. So it's just kind of, you know, well balanced all around in my opinion. So shall we do this?
Shall we do it? We shall.
All right.
Let's get in there.
So when it comes to seasoning, let's go with a little bit, or you can go with a lot. What do you think, Chef?
I kind of dig a heavy hand of salt to get started. It's going to help pull some of the moisture out, and then equal flavor, right? And then we can go pepper. That looks great, man. Have you done this before?
I've done this once or twice in my life.
Nice.
I learned a thing or two from watching videos online.
And then we'll do some garlic.
Now, what is it about garlic that just goes with beef so well?
It just adds all of that umami and depth of flavor.
And then onion powder. What's your take on that?
Onion powder just kicks it up. You know, you got a balanced allium there, and it'll add more flavor. You know, who doesn't like some nice sauteed onions on a steak, right?
Agreed. Now, if you all notice, we do have the different stickers because we're spoiled like that from our local grocery stores, and we just want you all to see what everything looks like. By the end of this video, you all will be professionals.
And that's the whole point of this YouTube channel, right?
Exactly. It's all about learning, having fun, cooking, and making good meals with people that are family and friends.
I've got some seasoning over here on the board, right? So I want to pick that up on the side of the steaks.
That's a good call.
Make sure that we use all of that seasoning and get it in there.
We don't believe in bland steaks around here.
No way. All right, so let's fire up the grill. All right, guys, today we're using the Monument Grills Eminence 605. This is a 6-burner grill. It's got the extra heavy top. All right, guys, so we've got our grill. It's up to 559 degrees. That's going to be a little bit hotter because the temperature probe is right underneath this grill plate. And so that temperature right there is going to be a little bit hotter than what we have over here. And then we've got our sear zone roaring hot. All right, guys, so we got some sausage. What kind of sausage is it, Mr. Stephen?
We have got some Philly cheesesteak sausages from our Central Market. Why? Because why not? It's all about having some fun because it tells a story, and the story that we're telling is we're just having some fun. So where are we going to throw this on our grill?
I don't know. Do you want to do them on the griddle? Do you want to do them up on the warming rack?
Let's do them on the
warming rack. Let's do it. We got a little Wagyu beef tallow. We'll go ahead and spray that.
Oh, wow.
Prepare our surfaces.
So we're throwing them right here?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. All
right, guys, so we've got these 3 different steaks. We've got the USDA Choice.
We got our
Prime 1.
Yeah, buddy.
And then we've got the Select. All right, so because this is a thicker steak, I think we're going to go over here on the sear zone.
Okay.
And we'll get that going.
Where are we throwing prime at?
What do you want to do?
Let's
grill it. And then we've got our Select, and we'll put that right on the griddle. That's the Select. And now we left the seasonings on there for what, about 10-15 minutes while we were heating up this grill?
Yeah. If you notice, the color of the steak now has kind of changed just a bit, and all that seasoning will definitely enhance the flavor, but we're also going to kind of judge the texture after it's cooked.
There you go. It's got some good sizzle action going on all of these steaks.
And all we need is our final countdown.
I guess it counted down. Right. All right, this guy is ripping hot.
Ripping good time.
We'll go ahead and give it a turn.
We're ready to turn our prime.
No, probably not. Let's let it go. You probably want the prime to go like, what, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Before you mess with it. Those are getting some pretty good heat up there. The thing is with this one over here on the Choice on the sear zone, that flame is so hot. So we're going like 45 seconds. I think it's ready to flip, honestly.
Well, let's flip it.
So see, already in just a few seconds, we've already got that sear going, and we're gonna have to finish it off over on the grill over there.
Shall we move it already?
No, we'll let it go.
Beautiful. The trick is just to not move it.
Yeah, that's always the hard part, right?
Yeah.
Even your sausage over there is starting to render out. It's got some drippies coming out. And while we wait, we hydrate.
The ripping good time.
I love steak.
That's the one I always get, dude. I always get it, and I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, you know.
Yeah. So look at that, man. That's legit, like 2.5 minutes. And we've already got like all of that great sear, but I don't think it's done yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put our thermometer in, and you're aiming for the center. And then we're gonna go ahead and put it over here. I've got this side turned to low. Inside of that steak, it's already 115 degrees, 117 degrees. So wow, it was a lot closer than I thought. Let's go ahead and check the temperature on that prime, and we'll do the same sort of thing. Have we turned it yet?
We have not touched it, not ready.
So we'll check the Select. It's sitting at 135 degrees. Ooh. 140. So let's turn it.
We're ready to flip it.
And we're gonna move it to another spot, right? Because this is already cooled off. So we wanna move it over here so we get a fresh surface, right? And we'll do the same thing with this one. You got some nice sear marks there. So let's get in there and see what that temperature is doing. It's hot, bro. And we're sitting at 99 degrees, so that's good. Now, back here in the corner is gonna be a little bit hotter than up here because we've got some shielding from the wind, and you've got a little more metal to catch and radiate that heat.
Love it.
So over here, we're saying that this steak is already at 126 degrees. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it up to the warming rack, and we'll use this thermometer probe, if I can grab it, to get inside of that steak. So now our steaks are sitting at 91 degrees and 100 degrees. These sausages are probably ready to flip. Yeah, you're getting a little bit of that golden brown going on.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get kind of sweaty, so that temperature's coming up and the meat is cooking off. Once we're through using it, we're gonna go ahead and turn off the sear burner.
Oh, you're already out. The prime figure?
Yeah, it's down on the
Got it. No one will know. Flavor. Okay, I'm turning off because I'm...
Yeah.
You want me to turn these off or no?
Sure.
All right, John, where are we at?
So we're showing an internal temperature of 126 on this one. This is the prime. So we'll go ahead and just give it a little... No, actually, I want to move it because it's prime.
It'll carry over.
It'll carry over.
And we'll be happy.
We'll be happier than ever. And we're now at 120 over here. So we've got all of our steak. Check that out. We got a good Maillard reaction. So let's check out the steaks. This is your choice, right? This is your choice. This is the select. This is your select.
Yeah, here. There you go.
And then this is the prime.
Look at that.
All right. So let's go ahead and we'll place them on our tray. It's gonna get hot, bro. All right. And we'll take it over to the table and we'll let it rest. So now we can move the cameras real quick. And what we'll do is we'll do a cut. Here's our steaks. We're gonna go ahead and let them rest for about 4 or 5 minutes. And I tell you, Stephen, I don't know about you, but this is the hardest part of cooking any steak.
What's that? Letting it rest?
Letting it rest.
Ugh, can't wait. Notice how the grill marks came out beautiful. And in the middle, you have your USDA Choice, which we had on our high sear area. Notice the lovely cook on that. And then you also have your select on the far right. Notice the difference in cooking on all three. Even though we're doing 3 different techniques, just look at the end result on each one. I think it's safe to say we can figure out which one's going to be the best, but we're still going to taste test all of them because that's what we do.
All right, guys, so let's cut into these steaks. We're gonna move our...
Now it's time to see the fruits of our labor.
You don't want to lose that. That's flavor. If you're plating it, you're gonna cut this and you're gonna pour that over the top. Okay? All right. Come on, Stephen. We'll start with the select. Ooh, that's nice. I bet you this half is gonna be the best.
So, cut on the bias.
And this is a New York strip.
I bet y'all are wondering how did it come out? Well,
my goodness. Dude, that looks perfect.
pretty good if you do say so ourselves, or if we do say so ourselves.
It smells delicious. I can smell all of like the seasonings and the beefiness and like the char that's on there. It smells wonderful. So then the ribeye, you've got the eye and then you've got the spinalis, right? So how do we want to cut this? Do we want to cut like through it, or do we want to remove it and cut it into 2 pieces?
We should definitely cut it into 2 pieces. Let's try it.
So let's go ahead and pull that off. You see how that comes apart? That's why sometimes you'll see a ribeye that's been tied so that you keep it all together, right? But this is the spinalis. Look how tender and springy that is.
That's great.
That? And then we've got the same thing going on right here. So this is the little fat. This is the little fat cap, right? This is a little fatty piece. This is the Scooby snacks for maybe your dogs or whatever. So if I was plating this in a restaurant, once I went ahead and sliced it, if we're doing a sliced kind of plate up presentation, then I would go ahead and top salt it as well. Just go ahead and take that piece from the middle. Beautiful cook right there. And then I'll do the same thing on the spinalis. And we've got even more of like a medium rare going on there. And then how about that prime?
So let's do it the same way we did the select. You ready?
Yeah,
let's cut into it.
This way?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go this way?
You're right-handed. It looks like you're going to do a great job right there. Yeah, buddy.
On the bias a little bit.
So as we get to the center of our steak, that's the cook that we have on it. Beautiful, perfect in our opinion. And it all just depends on how well you like it cooked. How medium rare, medium, or well done you like it. So we have 3 different cooks. Now we're at the point where we should probably try these.
Yeah, let's definitely try it. All right. So we've done all of this hard work, right? We went and we went to the store, we selected the steaks, right? Our pieces of meat. And then we seasoned it. We lit up the grill. We did the ritual of fire. We cooked them.
That's right.
And now it's time to eat, right?
Shall we? Well, let's start with our select with the least amount of fat. Flavor-wise, it's really good.
It's beefy.
It's actually pretty tender.
It is. It's moist, salty. It's really good.
Most definitely. Normally, I don't recommend all that, but I just gotta say, this is actually really good. So, for being a select steak, I think I have changed my opinion just a little bit.
You selected a good steak. Sorry, dad jokes.
I guess it's time to move on to some medium. And look at that beautiful cook right there. Lovely.
Cheers.
Cheers. Tender, juicy, definitely flavorful. We should try that little bit of spinalis because, of course, you got to go back for seconds because it's ribeye, you know?
Super high heat. So what that does is it cooks it really fast on the outside, and the water is trying to escape, so it goes up. And so whenever we flip it, it starts going back up. So it stays in the middle and it stays moist and juicy.
I'm a big fan of that. Of course, it's ribeye. What else are you expecting out of that?
Bro.
Other than flavor, high amounts of flavor.
That is fantastic. And here comes
Prime strip. Yes.
prime time, baby.
Yeah, let's do it.
Prime time. Definitely the most tender.
Yep. This has the most juice out of it. You're right, very tender compared to the other two. But if you notice, with this, you can get a little bit of a thicker cut, a thicker slice out of it, and you'll definitely still get that tenderness. With the select steak, I like to slice mine a little bit more thin, so that way it still kind of melts in your mouth, still falls apart. That's just what works for me.
Yeah. Honestly, all three of these steaks came out fantastic. But, I've got almost 30 years in the kitchen. You've got 20 years in the kitchen. You're dealing with a couple of pros here, but we shared the secrets, right? The secrets are control your heat, season it well, don't overcook it.
3 simple tasks to make the perfect steak.
Perfecto. Stephen, thank you for joining me here in the Chef's Backyard. It's been a pleasure. I'm so glad we got to cook these steaks together, and I look forward to cooking with you again. Make sure you guys follow and like Chef Stephen Gonzalez, and we'll put all of his links in the video description below. Thanks for joining me here at the Chef's Backyard.
Chef John, thank you so much for having us. It was a true honor to be a part of this play in the Chef's Backyard today. Not only did we get to taste some really good steaks, we also learned a few tips and tricks for everyone cooking at home. If you are going to do this, let us know how you like to make your steaks. And also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that way you can get more awesome videos from us. Everyone watching at home, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button because, of course, Chef's Backyard does not play around.
We'll see you soon here at the Chef's Backyard. You're always welcome. Much love. Peace.
I always like to just walk. You know it's not authentic if you're not walking.
Yeah, I know.
Well, shall we?
We shall. Cheers, my brother. Mine was already open.